Dear children and friends, today I'm gonna explain to you about a poem Once Upon a Time by Gabriel Okara. Dear children, let us move on to the poem Once Upon a Time. At the same time, before that, we have to know something about the poet of this poem Once Upon a Time. It was written by Gabriel Okara. Gabriel Okara is an African poet. He was born in 1921 in Nigeria. He was educated at Government College, Umuahia. His parents were not rich. He worked as a bookbinder and later as an information officer at Enugu. He also wrote plays and features for broadcasting and became a poet of outstanding ability. His poems appear regularly in Black Office. He has also written a novel called Voice. Now, let's move on to the poem. Once upon a time. Once upon a time, son, they used to laugh with their hearts and laugh with their eyes. But now they only laugh with their teeth, while their eyes block cold eyes such behind my shadow. So, friends, particularly this poem focuses on earlier times. Gabriel Okara focuses on earlier time was very good in his opinion. That's why the poem starts with once upon a time. Once upon a time, which means earlier time, means olden days were good in his opinion. And here, particularly, the poet might have been disturbed a lot by looking at today's human relations which are being observed in this society. As you all know, men have become hypocritical. There are no proper relations are maintained amongst the public. We are being experiencing in this way. So, in the poet's timeline, what he had felt, he has beautifully knitted his opinion in this poem Once Upon a Time. So, coming to this first stanza, he says his opinion like this. What does he say? Once upon a time, son, they used to laugh with their hearts and laugh with their eyes. So here, poet is in conversation with his son. He addresses his son. So this poem has been written in the form of a conversation with his son. That's why he used the word son in the first line of the poem addressing his son. And what does he say? He says, they used to laugh with their hearts and laugh with their eyes. How were the people in bygone days? People, when they are supposed to laugh, they used to laugh with their hearts and laugh with their eyes. In the sense, they are sincere and frank in expressing their feelings with others. They laugh with their hearts and laugh with their eyes, meaning they are very sincere and with the open minds, and they are very frank in expressing their feelings with their fellow beings. That's what poet expresses here. But now they only laugh with their teeth, while their eyes block cold eyes, such behind my shadow. Here he says, now he has compared the earlier time situation to this present day. And what does he say here? Now they only laugh with their teeth. Now the people simply laugh with their teeth, meaning there is no purity, there is no openness, there is no frankness. Simply, they seem to be smiling, but only they show their teeth. The smile won't come from the bottom of the heart. That's what he feels here. While their eyes block cold eyes, such behind my shadow, he says. Their eyes block cold eyes, meaning it's an idiom here. It expresses the meaning that people are not frank. People are not with the feelings of purity. There is no purity at their hearts. Simply without any feeling, no feeling at all, we see in their eyes. So, without showing any feeling in their eyes, mechanically, as they are hypocritical, simply they look at the people, and also they seem to be searching something behind my shadow. In the sense, they will be searching for the unreal persons. They will be searching in the shadow of the person, but they neglect the real person who is standing before them. So their attention is somewhere, not with the person who has been directly with the contact with them. So that's what here poet explains in this stanza. Let's move on to next stanza. The stanza goes on like this. There was a time indeed they used to shake hands with their hearts, but that's gone, son. Now they shake hands without hearts, while their left hands search my empty pockets. So in this stanza, poet Gabriel Okara expresses his opinion. What does he say here? There was a time indeed they used to shake hands with their hearts. Once upon a time, as a matter of fact, in reality, there was a time where the people used to shake hands with their hearts. Means while they were shaking hands with their friends and other fellow beings, they are very frank and they are very sincere in their behavior. But that's gone, son. Dear son, it was like that in earlier times, but that's gone. Which means he says nowadays it's not there. That's what he says here. Now they shake hands without hearts. And also he says about the people of today. What he says, these people shake their hands without hearts, meaning there is no sincerity and frankness in their shaking hands nowadays. That's what poet expresses here. While their left hands search my empty pockets, he says, with one hand, with the right hand, while they are shaking, and their left hands will be searching his empty pockets. Meaning here, poet expresses that nowadays the people are very mechanical. They have been completely mechanized, and they are very much hypocritical, and they are not pure, and they are not fair enough at their minds. That is what poet expresses in this stanza. So beautifully he has compared earlier times, saying that earlier times were very good comparing to nowadays. Nowadays, the people have been mechanized. They are all hypocritical, but earlier times they were all good. That's what he says here. They used to shake their hands with hearts earlier times, but nowadays there was no such thing. That's what he says in this stanza. Am I clear, friends? I hope I am clear, and I hope you understood well this stanza. Dear friends, let's move on to this stanza. It goes on like this: Feel at home, come again, they say, and when I come again and feel at home, once, twice, there will be no twice, for then I find doors shut on me. So, here in this stanza, particularly, poet Gabriel O'Cara expresses his feelings about the relationship between himself and his fellow beings, other human beings. So, what does he say here? Feel at home, come again. So, here is an idiom he has used: feel at home, which means feel comfortable and relaxed. So, if anybody, if he goes to anybody's home, the people would say to him, feel at home, means feel comfortable and relaxed as long as you stay at our home. That's what the hosts of the home would say to him. That's what he expresses here. And also he says that they would say to him, come again whenever you want. Again, you can come again. You're always welcome to visit our home. That's what they would say to him. And also he says, they say, and when I come again and feel at home. Again, next time also, if they visit their, if he visits their home, again they would say to him, okay, feel at home, feel comfortable and relaxed, and you can stay at our home as long as you wished to be here. That's what they would say. And what is the situation of nowadays? How do the people of today feel if he goes to somebody's village, if he visits anybody's home in the village or in the town, wherever it may be there? What is the feeling of today's people? Earlier times, the people would say to the person who visits their home, and they would say to that person, feel at home, feel comfortable and relaxed, and you can stay at our home as long as you wished, like that they would say. But what is the situation of today's people? Here you would say that today's people, if you visit anybody's house once, okay, it's okay, and twice, and there will be no thrice. If you visit anybody's house once or twice, again if you want to visit their house, there will be no thrice. Means here there will be no third time, no chance for you to visit a third time of anybody's house nowadays, he says. For then I find doors shut on me. And what he feels here, if I visit a third time anybody's house, anybody's home, simply there will be no chance at all for me, because then I find doors shut on me, he says. Means he finds doors shut on his face. Means people would shut the doors of their home on his face itself directly. They don't invite him third time. That's what he says. But what about earlier time? Earlier time, how many times even you would like to visit their home? Always they would say welcome to him. But nowadays, once, twice, but there will be no chance at all to visit their house third time. Simply the people of today shut the doors of their house on his face. That's what poet says that. So this is as usual experience. We will also be experiencing in our day-to-day life. So that is what he has beautifully expressed in this stanza, this concept here. In last line, for then I find door shut on me. Here the word for is used. The for is used as a conjunction here. It means because. It's not used in the as a preposition here. That's why for meaning here because. That's what you should remember, children. So for then I find door shut on me says. If he visits third time also, definitely he finds doors shut on him. That's what a poet says in this stanza. I hope you understood well this stanza. Am I clear, friends? I hope I am clear. I hope you understood well this stanza. So, friends, now let's look at the fourth stanza. It goes on like this. So I have learned many things, son. I have learned to wear many faces like dresses. Home face, office face, street face, host face, cocktail face, with all their conforming smiles, like a fixed portrait smile. So, what a beautiful expression a poet has given in this stanza. Let's see that. So, here poet says again in the form of a conversation, again he addresses his son. What he says? So I have learned many things, son. Son, by today I have learned many things, the poet says. And what does he say? I have learned to wear many faces like dresses, he says. So generally, we would wear dresses. So here, what he would say, people would change their faces as they would change their dresses. So here, a beautiful simile he has used here. Like dresses is in the figures of speech, it is called a simile. Simile is a word, it is used to compare other thing. Here, how it can be a simile here? Faces, there is a word face is compared to dress. So, in what manner people would change their dresses? You would say that faces are also changed like that. So, this is a beautiful simile has been expressed in this line. So, poet expresses people would change their faces like dresses, and he himself felt that he has learned to wear many faces like dresses. That's what he has told us. Meaning here, the poet has learned to wear many faces like dress. In what way that you would wear dresses, many dresses, likewise you would wear faces. In the sense, and he expresses here saying that he says that he would wear home face, office face, street face, host face, cocktail face. Like this he says. Meaning what? Home face in the sense means as long as he has been at home, he behaves in a way how he is supposed to behave with his family members, with the members of his family, how he is supposed to behave. In the same manner he would behave. And when he goes to office, and he says that he would wear office face, meaning when he is at office, he would behave in a way that he is with the consciousness that he has been in the office. Means a separate phase. Meaning here, how you would face when he is at home, he will never behave so when he is at office. So his behavior will be totally changed when he is in office. That's what when he is at home, he would behave in some other way, and when he is at office, he behaves otherwise. That is his intention in using these words here. And also he says street face. So whenever he is in the street, when he is meeting with other people, and totally he says that he would wear some other face. That is called street face. Means when he is in the street, how to behave other people, how to even pretend in front of the other people. Whether he may not be frank, he may not be what is that? He may not be frank. He may be otherwise in his behavior. He may behave otherwise. That's what he says. Likewise, when he is in the street, he says that he would his behavior will be changed. His behavior definitely will be different comparing to his behavior when he is in the office and when he is at home. Likewise, and also he says here host face. Host face means what here? So whenever any persons, any relatives visits his house, or any friends visit his house, at the time you'd become host, no? So being a host, at the time his behavior would be somewhat different. So if anybody visits our home, we will become hosts. Okay, and the people who visited our home will become uh, what is that? Actually, host the person who will be giving host to others. So whenever anybody comes to his home, anybody visits his home, he would say that he would wear host face. Means his behavior would be like a host. Likewise, and the visitors, whenever others visit our house, we would become our home. We would become a host, and the people who visited our home will become a hostess. Likewise, so being a host, as he is the person, he is the owner of that home, and somebody visited his home. At the time, he would say that he would behave like a host. That is meaning here. You would wear a host face in the sense. So likewise, another word used, cocktail face. Cocktail face in the sense here. Uh, this is cocktail in the sense. The meaning of cocktail is here a drink usually made from a mixture of two or more alcoholic drinks. It's a combination of two or more alcoholic drinks. So why poet used this word here? Cocktail phase means people often in the parties, like in their meetings, they will be sharing alcoholic drinks. So where the people will be sharing alcoholic drinks one to another, that meetings are called cocktail parties and cocktail parties like that. So here, when he is having alcohol or something there, when he is meeting with his friends, in cocktail parties generally what would be there? Completely, you would wear cocktail face in the sense artificial, mechanically, just you would have an artificial smile on his face. There will be no frankness. There will be no sincerity. Generally, we find the people in cocktail parties, every time they will be smiling artificially. There will be no purity, there will be no sincerity, and there will be no frankness in their smiles. So, whomsoever you would look at them, simply they would have an artificial a smile on their face. So, that is what he says here. He would have a cocktail face in the sense there is no sincerity and frankness in his smile. Just he would also go on smiling with others as others do. That is what here he says cocktail face here. With all their confirming smiles. Here he says that confirming smiles in the sense here, there is no sincerity and frankness in their smiles in cocktail parties where the people are sharing alcoholic drinks there. In such sort of parties, you would say that all the people would smile artificially. There is no naturality and there is no frankness and there is no sincerity. That's what he would say. like a fixed portrait smile. How their smilings would be, he also expresses here, with all their confirming smiles like a fixed portrait smile. So what he would say here, all the people in such sort of parties, cocktail parties likewise, they would have a fixed portrait smile. How would be their smile here? He says that their smile is like a portrait smile. Portrait in the sense, you know that portrait is a painting, drawing, or photograph of a person, especially of the head and shoulders. Generally, we would see the face of a person. Portrait is a picture or a drawing, a painting of a person with his face and shoulders, and simply how the portraits would be there. Simply there will be a smile on the portrait. There will be no change. It looks artificial smile. Okay, likewise, that is what it is. The people in such areas would have the cocktail faces. Simply they would go on smiling artificially, and their smile is like a portrait smile. Means there will be no sincerity, no naturality, no frankness in their smiles. They are all artificial smiles. That's what he has learned. These are the things the poet has learned, and that's what he has been telling to his son, addressing him here. Am I clear, friends? I hope I am clear to you, and also I hope you understood this stanza very well. So, friends, let's move on to fifth stanza. Fifth stanza goes on like this: and I have learned to laugh with only my teeth and shake hands without my heart. Here, the poet says to his son what he has told here. He has also learned to laugh with only his teeth, and also he has learned to shake hands without his heart. Means there is no sincerity and frankness in shaking his hands with others. That's what poet says here. And also he says he has also learned to say goodbye when I mean good riddance, he says. So do you understand, friends, here? What good riddance is it? Good riddance, what does it mean here? A feeling of relief when an unwanted person leaves. Actually, when he is been with the meeting, when he is been in the meeting with other person, in reality, he wants that person to leave him immediately. So when he is leaving, in his mind he feels so happy, finding that he is leaving him. But outside he would say goodbye with a pleasant smile. So that is called, there is a good riddance in his mind also, but simply outside he would say goodbye. So that is also he has learned. That's what he has been telling to his son, addressing him. And also he would say that poet has also learned to say goodbye when he means good riddance, and also he would say he has learned to say glad to meet you without being glad. Actually, he would simply say that glad to meet you when he meets with others, but in his mind there is no glad. And to say it's been nice talking to you after being bored. After being bored, actually he would feel bored, but actually when he feels boredom also, but he would say with other person, it's been nice talking to you. Means in his mind something will be there, and outside something he would express. That is what he has learned. He has been telling his son, addressing him in this stanza. I hope you understood well this. So friends, now let's move on to sixth and seventh stanzas. In these stanzas, the poet expresses his feelings, saying that, but believe me, son, I want to be what I used to be when I was like you. What he says, believe me, son, I want to be what I used to be. How the poet used to be in earlier times. In such a manner, in such a way, he wanted to be even at present. When I was like you, he says, when he was like his son, how he used to be. So in the same manner, he wanted to be even at present also. That's what he says to his son. And also he says, I want to unlearn all these muting things So here the word muting is used. Muting in the sense changing all the time, expressionless, not expressed in speech. So I want to unlearn all these muting things. So he says that he wants to unlearn all these muting things, means expressionless things. Outside one expression will be there, and inside just people will be pretending. He doesn't like pretenders. He doesn't want to act like mechanically and artificially. That's what he says. These sort of expressionless um, muting things. He wants to be away with these muting things. That's what he says. He wants to avoid all these muting things, expressionless things. So he wants to be very clear at his heart. That's what he says here. And most of all, I want to relearn how to laugh, for my laugh in the mirror shows only my teeth like a snake's bare fangs. So what he says here. And also he says the poet wants to relearn. What he wants to relearn here, again he wants to learn. What he wants to learn? How to laugh. Actually, he feels that he is not laughing wholeheartedly. He is not laughing wholeheartedly with the people nowadays. So he also has learned so many things out of these people. That's why he doesn't want to be likewise. So he wants to relearn how to laugh. Means he wants to be fair enough in his laugh. He wants to love wholeheartedly. And for why? For my laugh in the mirror shows only my teeth like a snake's bare fangs. That's what he said here. You see that? When he laughs, standing in front of the mirror there, he would not see his teeth, he says. His teeth looking like as if they were fangs of a snake, bare fangs of a snake. They are looking like bare fangs of a snake, in the sense there is no purity. The snake fangs or the sense is symbolized here. There is no sincerity and frankness in his smiling. Simply his teeth would appear outside, but inner he is not has any purity at his heart.